In this part of the session, we're going to practice with the tools. I will demonstrate each of these tools and then ask you to pause the video so that you can practice on a template as well. We'll be looking at how to do text, elements, background, and a video recording. We'll all be working on an identical template, so go ahead and click where it says make a copy of this template, and then down at the bottom, click use template for new design. If you need more time, go ahead and pause the video. I'm going to show you my template now, and you'll see that we're all working on a similar template. First thing I'm going to do is zoom in a little bit so that I can see my template a little bit more clearly and so that it's larger and easier to work with. This is a template that came on Canva, and I can manipulate it and change it so that I can use it in my classroom and have it be something that students can use to show their learning in math. The first thing we're going to focus on is text. I will show you how to edit text that already exists, how to add your own text, and how to change the font, size, and color of your text. So going back to my template, I'm going to change the text here where it says sides, edges, and corners. And rather than having my students fill in that information, I would like them to do definition. So I'm going to double click here where it says sides, and then I'm going to, once it is highlighted in blue, I'm going to change the text and type in definition, which tells my students that I would like them to put the definition in that space. Instead of it saying edges, I will have it say example so that students can type in an example of a square. And then instead of them having to tell the number of corners, I'm going to say find and measure. And so I would have my students put in the measurements of a square that they find in the classroom. That's how to edit text that already exists. I can also add my own text. So I'm going to click here where it says text, and you can either choose add a text box up at the top and it will create a very small text box. I generally choose this large one, add a heading, because I can always change the size later, but this way it puts it right in the middle and makes it easier to work with. I'm going to add a text here that says shape and photo, because I'm going to have them put those in here. I'm going to click outside of it now that I'm done editing. And now if I click and drag, I can place it where I'd like to in the box. Here is where I can change the size by either dragging these corners to make it smaller, or if I click on it, I can go up here to where you see font size up in this toolbar at the top and click in here and either manually enter it or select from one of these options below, or I can increase it by using these plus and minus buttons. To change the font, I'm going to click on Canva Sans because that's the current font, and then I can select a different font from over here on this side. Now it's a different font. And if I'd like to change the color, up here where you see the A with the colors down below it, I can click there and it will give me a bunch of options for colors if I scroll down. I can also choose this plus button, and then I have a whole range of colors that I can choose from. Select my color that I would like, and now it's changed it to blue. Go ahead and pause the video, and now you can do those things with the text on your template. Now let's look at elements. We're going to look at how to add a shape, a graphic, or a photo, and then how to change the color. I'll go back over to my template to demonstrate how to do this. First, I'm going to collapse this box by clicking on this little triangle right here. And now I see that I have my template ready to go. I'm going to click on elements, and up here at the top, I'm going to search for a square. Let's say that I don't want this image of a square here. I can go ahead and click on it and click backspace to get rid of it. And now I'm going to just put in a solid square. I can drag it to where I'd like it to go. And again, I can drag those corners if I'd like to make it a little bit smaller. Oops. And make sure I've highlighted it, and now I can put it where I'd like it to go. To change the color, I want to click on it so that once again, it's outlined. And then up here at the top, I can click on the color and again, change it to whatever color I would like. Now it's yellow. Let's go ahead and add a photo of a square now. Let's say I want to show my students what a square looks like in the real world. If I scroll down here to photos, none of these are what I'd like to use, so I'm going to click here on See All. And I can keep scrolling down until I find a picture or a photo of a square that I'd like to have so my students can see what a square might be in the real world. I'm going to choose this clock. And you'll see it makes it really large right in the center of the page. Again, I can drag those corners to make it smaller and then click in it to move it to where I'd like it to go. If I don't want all of this background, I can trim it or crop it by dragging those edges in. And now I have a shape of a square and a picture of a square. And so my students can see a square when they open up this template, but maybe part of the direction would be for them to add their own in right here. Go ahead and pause the video, and so now you can do those things. The next tool we're going to talk about is the background. First thing you might need to do is add the background app, and I'll show you how to do that. And then we'll change the background to a different solid color. I'm going to go back to my template here, and you can see that my template has just a solid white background. Let's say that I want to change the color. The first thing that I need to do is click somewhere outside of any of my text or my other elements that are inside of my workspace and make sure that my whole entire project is outlined. Then I can go over here, up here, up to the top where you see the toolbar background color. I can click there and again, change it to whichever color I prefer. Now my background is a solid pink. In order to add photos or other specialty backgrounds, you might need to add the background app. So if you scroll down here to apps and click there, and then scroll down in this window to where you see background, if you click there, you can see that now I have a whole bunch of different options of photos, landscapes, different types of images that I could make for a background. So that's just one app that you might want to add into your Canva. I'm going to collapse that now, and so now you see that I've changed my background color. Go ahead and pause the video now and add the background app and change the background to what you'd like it to be. The final tool we're going to practice with today is making a video recording. And then we're going to move and resize the video. Note that still photos need to be taken separately and then uploaded into Canva. So I'm going to go back to my template and I'm going to go over here to where you see uploads. I will click on uploads and then click right here where it says record yourself. I'm going to create a video to show my students that I found a square in our classroom and then instruct them to make their own video. You see these options come up here on the right side. I can either show the camera, I can show the camera and record my screen at the same time, or I can just do a screen recording. For today, I'm only doing the camera. If this does not pop up when you get onto this screen, just click on this settings wheel up here and you'll see these options. When I'm ready, I'm going to click down at the bottom where it says record. I found a square in the classroom. It's a piece of paper towel that's shaped like a square. Now you will find a square in the classroom. I will click done when I'm finished. And then up here in the top right corner, I click save and exit. And now you'll see over here, it's going to start to load in my uploads in just a moment. And then you can see that I can drag it and put it where I'd like to in my workspace. Again, I can drag those corners if I'd like to make it larger or smaller. So that's how to add a video recording and then move and resize it. Go ahead and pause the video now so that you can add a video recording into your template. And that's the last of our 4 demonstrations of the tools. We will return now to our Canva presentation.